Hello everyone and welcome to yet another show of Ask Digit, where we answer your queries that you have been asking on Facebook and on our emails. I'm Kunal and this is Vishal here with me. So I've got some smartphone questions here and Vishal has mostly laptops.
Mostly laptop questions.
So we'll pick up some of the questions that you have been asking us and we'll answer you whatever we think is the best option. So let me start with the question.
Sure.
Yeah? So I have Sayan Kumar De, who is asking. He wants a smartphone from around 10 to 11,000 rupees. So he said that he doesn't know much about smartphones. So I am taking into account that he might not be knowing about smartphones. So I think a good option would be the Lumia 525 by Nokia, because Windows Phone apparently is actually more stable and it will give you frequent updates.
Right.
So it will cost you somewhere around 10 and a half, and it's just launched in India. It has 1 GB of RAM and a dual core processor, and it runs on Windows Phone 8, which is quite stable, and you will be getting the future updates. So a very good option would be the Lumia 525. If you really want to go into the Android department, I think the Carbon Titanium S5 Plus. I recently got that for a review, and I think it's a very good phone. It runs on a quad-core processor. It has a 8 megapixel camera, and it's actually a dual SIM phone, so you can even have two SIMs at once. So it's not a bad option if you're going for an Android smartphone. So yeah, I would suggest the Lumia 525 by Nokia, or if you want to go for the Android, go for the Carbon Titanium S5 Plus.
In fact, I would completely agree with Kunal here. The Lumia 525 would be the phone to buy at that price, simply because Windows runs better on lower end hardware than Android ever would. It's the performance, the battery life, and also the fact that the Lumia phones are built a lot better than most of the budget Android phones.
Yeah.
So I hope the reader kind of gets the
Yeah,
point here.
definitely.
Does not really go after just an Android phone.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, anything you've got from us?
Well, a lot of queries. Pankaj Kumar, our reader, is asking us. He wants to buy a laptop for about 30,000 rupees. He wants 4 gig of RAM, 500 GB hard drive, and a 2 GB graphics card with that. He's not specified any particular brand preferences, so we have two recommendations for him here. First is the Dell Inspiron 15 3521. This comes with a Core i3 3217U processor, 4 gigs of RAM, a 15.6-inch screen, and a 500 gig hard drive. This will cost him about 29,600 rupees, but the graphics will be integrated only. So that's a bit of an issue he has to deal with. But if the graphics are a very important priority, in that case, the HP Pavilion G6 2302, this will again cost about 29,500 rupees. Gets an AMD APU, a dual core A4, clocking at 2.5 GHz, 4 gigs of RAM, 500 gig hard drive, Windows 8 is preloaded on this device. But the critical bit, it's got switchable graphics, switching between the AMD Radeon 7420G, which is the 502 MB integrated card, as well as the GTI Radeon 7670M 2GB graphics card. So if graphics are a very important criteria, it's one of the points mentioned here, then go for the HP Pavilion. If not, then even the Dell Inspiron is a very, very good option.
I think I somehow like the Dell much more, but considering the fact that you said that the HP has switchable option,
Right.
it's a very good thing to have, because when when you have a requirement of a higher graphics performance,
Right.
you can automatically switch to that.
Right.
I think it's a good option, not bad.
And in fact, Kunal, we've kind of understood by testing over a period of time that
Right.
the AMD APUs offer slightly better battery life in certain
Yes,
cases,
of course,
and
of course.
extremely good battery life in other cases.
Right.
So assuming that it's a improvement about 25% in terms of battery backup times, that I guess is a lot in terms of
Very good.
when you're basically kind of finishing your work in the evening.
Nice. Okay, so I usually get a lot of questions about smartphones under this price segment, smartphones around this price segment. So I have two people asking me something under 20,000.
Okay.
So one of them is Irfan Haider, who wants mostly for gaming entertainment, and Dikshit Akshay. I think it's Akshay Dikshit. I don't know. It's been written like that. So he wants his priority is camera and looks.
Okay.
So if you want a really good deal, go for the Zolo Q3000. Amazing specifications. It has a 13 megapixel camera. It has a 5.7-inch full HD display. It has 2 GB of RAM, 16 GB of internal memory, and a 1.5 gigahertz quad core processor with a 4000 mAh battery. Now that's like humongous specifications. If you are not so keen towards, okay, maybe some people have a little preference towards brands, so you can go for the Sony Xperia C. It comes with an 8 megapixel camera, quad core MTK processor, MediaTek, which is, and there is a 5-inch display. Though it's not a 720p display, but you can't figure out that much of a difference on smartphones. And it runs on Android Jelly Bean. So I have heard that MediaTek doesn't give a lot of good battery, but specifically on the Xperia C, because it's a Sony phone, they put on a stamina mode.
Okay.
So it gives a very good battery backup because it has a 2330 mAh battery. So that is providing you a good backup even on a MediaTek processor. So I would say if you are not looking for a brand preference, go for the Zolo Q3000. Amazing specifications. So if you really want slightly inclined towards brands, go for the Sony Xperia C. They both fall under the 20,000 category. Good options for you.
Personally, I would go for the Xperia,
Right.
simply because there are other factors when you buy a smartphone. It's not about just the specifications. You also have to look at the fact that it has to be after sales service. Now, no, I'm not saying that the other guys don't offer good service, but Sony you would expect to offer better service, which they will. And the fact that Sony has a stamina mode in a phone which is fairly affordable, it's the same feature that they have even in the Xperia Z1. So that's a good thing, that Sony does not discriminate against phones which are slightly more affordable in terms of features. So
Right.
that basically bodes well for future updates and stuff.
Definitely. So anything else for the laptop range?
Questions galore. Now, Vikrant Dhruv asks a question. He wants a laptop for about 50,000 rupees with a good gaming experience to boot, and he asks if it could possibly include a retina display or a high resolution display and offer something for eye protection, because he's going to be using the laptop for quite a long duration of time every day. Let me answer in terms of what models he should buy. The first is the Dell Inspiron 15 R5537. This has the latest generation Haswell Core i5 4200 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 750 GB hard drive, a 15.6 inch screen, 768p resolution by the way, not full HD. Windows 8 comes preloaded. For graphics, the critical bit is the Radeon HD 8670 2GB GPU. This will handle games with absolute ease.
Definitely.
All
It's
the
a
latest
very
features.
good graphics card. I actually tested it on one of the laptops. Really good performance. Yes.
So no issues there. The second option we would give you is the HP Pavilion 15. Now this particular version is the N013TX. HP has a lot of laptops with various code names. This is the one to keep an eye on, 013TX. This has also got the Haswell Core i5 processor 4200, 4 GB of RAM, 1 TB hard drive as against 750 GB that the Dell offered, 15.6 inch screen with a 768 resolution. Windows 8 comes preloaded. Graphics in this case is the NVIDIA GeForce GT 740M. Again, a very powerful graphics card.
It's definitely.
Kunal, if you remember, we had used the GT 640 to power a gaming experience on a 4K TV.
Yes.
And this is a fairly superior graphics card.
It's
compared to
actually I think all the 740, 750, 760, all of them are at par. And because it's a laptop, and obviously you can't get a lot of huge performance out of it.
Right.
But on a laptop device, I think it's a brilliant graphics card. It's amazing.
So those are the two options for you. Either the Inspiron 15 5537 or you have the HP Pavilion 15 N013TX. Both are available for about 40 to 50k, 48 to 50k, sorry, depending on the deal that you can find. So it ultimately boils down to which one you would prefer.
That's nice, man. You can get like a decent gaming device, as in like a laptop, under 50k. I mean, good option.
Contrary to general expectations.
Yeah, well, definitely gaming not be done on a laptop. But then it's not like it's not possible on a laptop.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Now, for your requirement for eyesight protection, unfortunately, none of these laptops will give you a full HD or Retina display resolution in this price bracket. At least for that, you'll have to go 70k and upwards. Secondly, none of these laptops really give you eye protection per se. There's no software like you would have on the Samsung tablet called a reading mode. So there's nothing of that sort. What we would kind of recommend is, before plonking down your cash for a particular machine, check it out in store. We would advise you to buy the one which has a slightly less reflective screen. Reflective in the terms of how you would decipher reflections coming to you from the screen. The lesser the reflections, the lesser the strain on the eyesight. The second thing would be to keep the brightness level low. If you're working on a document, typing out stuff, why do you need brightness at 100%? The white from the document is going to hurt your eyes. Turn that down a little bit. Over a period of time, you will get used to the lower brightness levels. And the third thing, a very critical thing, my dad used to tell me every time I would sit down to study, keep the proper distance between whatever you're reading and your eyes. His funda was this much distance between what you're reading. So, this is pretty much anyone can deploy this and see. So, you can see I'm sitting here and this is the distance. If you keep these little things in mind, just any laptop will be comfortable to use.
Hey, I should try that. I haven't tried the whole distance thing. I will definitely try that. Also,
Try
my
it.
eyes are fine. Nice. So, I have a very nice question here. I was actually going through the Carbon Titanium S7, and I went through the specifications like a few days ago, and I just found this question from Dhruv. He said that he's thinking of buying the Carbon Titanium S7, and he's asking for an opinion and if there's something else in the pricing. To be honest, it's a very good phone. If you are looking to buy, the Titanium S7, you should go for it because it comes with a 1.5 gigahertz quad-core processor, and it even has a 30 megapixel camera. It has a full HD 5-inch display, and it's a dual SIM.
Right.
Considering that it falls around 15,000 rupees, if you can spend a little bit more, you can go for the Carbon Titanium X, which has the same processor, same screen, but a slightly bigger battery. The Titanium S7 has 2000 mAh battery, but the Titanium X has a 2300 mAh battery, which will be worth the cost. Because as you know, it's a big, full HD display. There is a quad-core processor. It will take out a lot of your battery. And also on the Titanium X, I have seen that it has OTG support. That is, you can plug in a USB pen drive or a hard drive to the phone. So that's more storage for you. So if you're looking for the S7, go for it. If you can spend slightly more, go for the Titanium X, which is slightly better than the Titanium S7, and you'll get more battery, which is very good option for on an Android smartphone.
Very critical. If you can get a slightly bigger battery on a phone that you want, by paying a little bit extra, go for it.
Go for
Because
it, definitely.
Android phones do not have good battery life. To be brutally honest, you need that little extra headroom to kind of maneuver you through the day.
Yeah.
But one important feature that you mentioned here is the support for an external USB drive.
Exactly.
That is brilliant. A lot of us have movies and music on. And it's
Yeah,
supported
because
storage.
it gets very convenient because if you have like a large dose of if you're suppose if you're going out on a trip or something, you can't carry your laptop.
Right.
You just take your hard drive, take your
Right.
phone, attach your laptop, and you watch movies. And it's a 5-inch full HD display.
Good
What
to
more
go.
could you want, man? You'll get a full HD display. You get good clarity because it's a small screen.
Right.
It will have a good PPI. And
Right.
you're good to go for a tour and watch movies, watch videos, whatever.
What else could you want?
So yeah, OTG is a very good option. Although people, a lot of people don't see it. It has a very good feature, but I definitely think it's a nice, good feature.
It's actually a surprise that a lot of popular smartphone makers don't offer
They
this
don't.
option
They
at all.
don't. Definitely, I'm so forward looking to devices which have OTG on them. It's a very good option to have. Yeah.
We can hope that the popular smartphone makers actually bother with this feature sometime in the future.
Yeah. Okay, what's next?
Another question. Our reader Dinesh wants a laptop in the range of 35 to 45,000 rupees. He's not specified any particular hardware that he requires or the usage scenario. And we are happy with the kind of wide margin he's given us to recommend a laptop. So we'll take the liberty of going to the further edge of the margin and recommending a Lenovo IdeaPad Flex. This will be the Flex 14 to be precise. Gets the latest 4th gen Core i3 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 500 gig hard drive, critically with the 8 GB of flash storage. I'll come back to that in a minute. It's got Windows 8 preloaded. Again, gaming will not be a bit of a problem because of the GeForce GT 720M graphics. These will handle most of the latest games, and it's got a 14-inch touchscreen with the 1366 768 pixel display. Costs about 46,000 rupees, and we would recommend this over all the other options that you can get in the same price bracket simply because of the cache storage.
Yes.
Now, Kunal, of all the laptops that we've tested, any machine which offers you an SSD in addition to an HDD will be considerably faster.
Obviously, if you like load Windows 8 on a SSD, oh, it runs super fast, and the booting time is reduced to more than half, and it just opens up like that. So it's a great option to have on a laptop. Having an SSD and your Windows loaded on the SSD, the best thing you can have on a laptop.
Your Windows will boot in less than 8 seconds, and you'll be good to go. That's a huge advantage. You'll be able to access files faster. Copying stuff to and fro will be quicker because your cache will be on the SSD and not the spindle drive itself. So we would recommend this particular machine. Go for it. It will be a very good machine in terms of performance and also battery life.
Great.
Any more smartphone questions?
Let me just skim through. I have one more query. So it's not about smartphones specifically. It's regarding an app. So I've been asked a question that do you have any app that can not save the when you're taking pictures that does not save the pictures directly into the default folder, and if the person can specify a folder where to save the image. So to be honest, there are a number of apps on the Android store. He has asked on the Android platform. So there are so many apps available. The best one to go for is Camera 360. Not only that, you can save it to any other location. The app itself is very nice. It has a nice UI. It can be used to take HDR photos, panoramas, and all those modes that you usually get. Plus, recently this app has the support of the latest Sony QX lenses. Now, those lenses can be enabled by attaching the lens with the smartphone, and if it has NFC. So that app also supports that feature. So if you're looking for a good camera app which can save the image into any folder you want, go for Camera 360, and it supports a lot of features which will be helpful for you. So yeah, there's your answer. Get Camera 360. Good app.
Couple of questions here, Kunal.
Yeah.
Is the app free?
Yes, it's free.
That's awesome. Second thing, if I install this app on a phone which by default does not support features like HDR, will this app support those features on that particular phone?
See, to be honest, this app, the features whichever they have, I think only those features will run.
Okay.
If your camera module is, like suppose if your camera module does not have an autofocus, if it's a fixed focus camera, obviously those features won't be running. So it also depends upon the capability of your sensor. It depends the capability of the whole module itself, that if it can support these features. If it doesn't have, well, you're left with few things.
That's one thing that you should keep an eye out for.
Right.
Just don't read the app description and blindly believe that you'll get all the features. Your phone's hardware is very, very important in that.
Exactly. So anything else?
I have the last question from my side basically.
Great.
Our reader Ranjit has a bit of a problem with his Dell Inspiron machine. He says the OS freezes while it's booting, and the same thing happens over and over again, and that he can hear some weird sound while the machine is in that boot loop. He's said that there's no virus problem because he's encountered the same in the BIOS setup. So, well, he's done a bit of research already. Well, your problem could basically point to two things. First, either the Windows installation itself has gotten corrupt for some reason. So you could either run a repair or a clean reinstall on the same hard drive, and that could probably solve the problem for you. If not, then unfortunately there's something wrong with your hard drive. Because the fact that you mentioned that there's a weird sound coming, we would assume it's the click 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 sound. That would be of a bad hard drive. So you could reinstall the OS. If that works, that'd be good. If not, you will have to invest in a hard drive or probably an SSD if you wish to upgrade that.
The click of death.
Any suggestions, Kunal?
The click of death is really a big problem on
We've
that.
all lost data in that
Yeah,
regard.
I recently lost a hard disk on that. So if the clean installation works, I think you're in luck. But if your hard disk is not working, and if the click sound is coming, oh, then it will be a huge problem.
Right.
So
we would suggest you not doing anything apart from trying the Windows reinstallation. If that doesn't work, just simply take it to a Dell service center and let them open the machine. You should not try to open the machine because we don't know if your machine is in warranty or not. But if it is, it'll be a problem. Even if it's not, why risk opening the machine yourself?
yeah, definitely. So yeah, I guess we've wrapped up a lot of questions today. Do check out our YouTube link and do follow Facebook and Twitter. So we will be answering more questions in the future, and do check us out. Do check us on the YouTube links, on the Twitter links, on the Facebook links, and ask us more questions, more smartphone questions, more camera questions, more laptop, tablet questions. We will be waiting for your queries. So this was another episode done for Ask Digit. Thank you so much. And this is Kunal and this is Vishal signing off. Yeah. Okay.
Looking
thanks.
forward to your questions.
Yeah, definitely. We want more questions. Yeah.